Good morning and welcome to your Thursday morning yoga class. Let's see, announcements first. I've missed the last 3 Tuesdays due to a whole lot of different reasons, but it doesn't matter. Here we are. The bigger announcement is that for the next 3 weeks, I will not be doing live Zoom classes. So remember, Facebook keeps them live for 30 days, and then they're all have been transferred over to a YouTube channel under my name where all the yoga classes are that are free and open to you. So I say free even though I've asked for donations when you are moved to. I think it says that at the top of the Facebook page. Okay, enough with the announcements. Let us begin our practice. Today's focus is going to be on, we're going to do some hip strengthening, a little bit of core work. We might play with shoulder stand, but otherwise an overall great practice. So go ahead and settle in. As usual, we always start with this time to arrive, to center ourselves, to take those deep sighs and let everything else go. Your to-do list, the day ahead, the day behind, and come into this present moment. Some people get to the present moment fastest by noticing through their senses, whether that is sound, sensation, internal sensation of breath. Find what works for you and stay with it. Maybe use a mantra. Maybe do the simple act of counting your breaths. Noticing as we slow our breath and settle, our busy minds reflect the same. We begin to slow our minds and settle. So simple, yet so challenging. Go ahead and read our poem for the day. Today I open to Crow Wisdom. I'd like to know what you know, Crow. Your senses taking in everything that's going on in this vicinity. I'd like to see what you see, swooping through the pine trees or gliding high above the yard. I get the feeling you size me up in a single glimpse, finding me a useful food source, but not too smart. I'd like to share your ability to be in tune with your surroundings, alert, yet free to be your bold crow self, effortlessly plugged into wisdom's source and gloating just a bit at your superiority. Letting those words of the freedom of crows settle in. And then we'll begin our practice with 3 breaths. We inhale filling ourselves up, lifting the crown of the head, and gently exhale through parted lips. 2 more times. We inhale and exhale. 1 more time. And with that next breath, we inhale, opening our eyes and reach our arms to the sky. And exhale, hands down. This time, inhale and lead hands up. Bend the right hand as if you're going to pat yourself on the back and drop the left hand to grab the right elbow. Breathing here as you open this back of the right arm. So we're already preparing ourselves for shoulder stand, opening up those shoulders. Next, inhale, reach both hands up. Exhale, drop the left and reach the right hand over the head. Right sits bones, stay on the mat, stretch out that side body. And if you can, roll the right shoulder back and maybe even gaze up at the sky. Right hand comes back down. Both hands come back up on an inhale. This time we pat the back of our head or neck with the left hand, drop the right to the left elbow, and open that side. Breathing here. Maybe it feels like a gentle tug, but in a nice, pleasant way, opening that. Next, inhale, both hands come up, and exhale, the right hand comes down and the left hand comes up over the head. Again, if you can, roll the left shoulder back and maybe glance up. Either way, you should feel that sense from your left hip through those ribs, out through the fingertips. And then let's bring that hand back. Let's rearrange our feet so they are soles of the feet together. Roll the shoulders down and back, lift again through the crown. Knees are open. You can tuck some blocks under there to support them early in our practice or anytime in our practice. And then we're gonna fold forward here to get a nice stretch at the back of the hips. Letting the weight of your body stretch those hips open. This is another place where you can put a block to support your head and upper body. Always take care of yourself. Maybe walk those fingertips out. So again, we're opening the shoulders. And then let's slide those hands back, close the feet, lift the feet, cross the ankles, and roll over the ankles. And rearrange yourself on the mat to all fours if that didn't come out right. Wrists under elbows, under shoulders, knees under hips. We're gonna start with our simple cats and cows, top of the feet on the mat. We look up on the inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the tail, and exhale around the back. No need to look at the screen. Inhale, we look up. Exhale, we look back, finding the rhythm of your breath. Fingers are spread wide, and you're firmly pressing into that mat. Noticing how deeply you can round the back, and how much you can open the chest. Come on back to neutral spine, tuck your toes, lift, and you're gonna press into the balls of your feet as you lift your knees. So this alone, we find strength in our upper body and our core. And then let's open the knees and close the knees. Open the knees and close the knees. Inhale, open, exhale, close. So a weird little clamshell kind of move. One more. And then we'll set them down and undulate the spine. I love spinal undulation, where I encourage you to move every vertebrae of that spine from your head, neck, upper back, mid back, all the way to wagging the tailbone. No special way, just find movement in all those vertebrae so your spine is like a slinky. From here, we'll tuck the toes again. And this time, we're gonna lift up our hips, bring our belly to our thighs, come into our turbo dog, drop our head between our upper arms, and really stretch out through that tailbone, long line of the spine. And then we're gonna reach one heel and then the opposite to the floor, bending, opening, coming into downward dog. Once you get to downward dog, you can hold here. One more breath, then look between your thumbs and then lower the left forearm and the right forearm. Coming into dolphin. Our forearm should be parallel, fingertips spread, and you may notice your heels come up a little higher. Now from here, we're gonna walk the feet back, and as you walk the feet back into a forearm plank, your eyes can gaze between your thumbs, hovering the belly, using that core strength. So we're gonna go from forearm plank, and then with baby steps, walk those feet back up to dolphin pose. You see how far they walk up, and then walk them back down to forearm plank. Now you can always take a break and go into child pose, or you can walk the feet up and back a few times here. Notice, and you'll start feeling some of that shoulder strength we're working on, so that someday we can do those shoulder stands. And when you've had enough, go ahead and bend the knees and bring your backs back to your heels. Stretch out your arms and come into an extended child's pose. Forehead to the mat, maybe to a block or a pillow. Deep sighs. One more breath here, and then we'll come back up to all fours. Tuck the toes, hover the knees, and then reach those hips back. Turbo dog to regular downward dog. Pedal it up. From downward dog, we're going to look up between the thumbs, and this time we're going to walk our feet up to our first forward fold. Again, bend the knees. Stretch out through the crown of the head toward the earth. Tailbone lifts. And then hinging at the hips, reverse swan dive. Hands come up over the head, eyes gaze up. Exhale, purr through the center. We come into mountain pose. Hands drop by the side, crown of the head lifts. Inhale, hands up, eyes gaze up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway, exhale, hands to the mat. We'll walk, step, or jump back to that plank. We'll do one yogi push-up, and then we'll go ahead and lower, chaturanga, belly to the earth, release the tops of the feet. Come up into cobra, lifting through the head and heart. Roll it back down. Tuck the toes, back through plank, back to downward dog. One more time through a sun salutation. Inhale, look up. Exhale, walk, step, or jump to that spot. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, back to mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around, eyes gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, walk, step, or jump to plank. This time we'll do 2 yogi push-ups. 1, 2, and then a chaturanga. Back to cobra, or maybe up dog. From up dog to down dog. You can roll over your toes, or you can come through plank. You can do cobras. Please always adjust these classes so they're just right for your body on this day. From here, let's come to that forearm again into dolphin. And this time I need to lift the right foot and set it down, and the left foot and set it down. As we do that, look up between the thumbs, right foot up and down, left foot. So we're just practicing the moves that eventually will take us to shoulder stand. Back to regular downward dog. Look up between your thumbs, walk, step, or jump to that spot. Inhale, halfway. This time, exhale, forward fold. Big toes together, knees together, lower the hips, and meet me in chair. From chair, we're going to just put a little bounce in our chair. We'll reach right hand back and lower the hips, and then up, but not coming all the way up. Down and up. So swinging the arms one at a time, and then both at a time. You can just decide what feels better. Building that hip strength that I promised you. And one more, and hold chair. Tuck the tail and come all the way up to standing. Hands to the heart, to mountain pose. Well done. Let's inhale back to chair. Hands up, hips back. Then let's lift the right foot, step it back to high lunge. And then we're going to play a little here again. Knee up to a one-legged chair, and then tap it back. And then up and tap it back. So this is taking a lot of balance and some hip stability. If you want to swing the arms like we were, you can. Come back to chair, stand up, pause and mount before we go to the other side. So I'm building some heat up in the body. Maybe you are too. Deep sigh. Coming back again and again to this moment. Hips back, hands up, back to chair. This time we balance on the right foot as we lift the left knee. We tap it back to a high lunge and then bring it forward. Tap it back bring it forward. Again, you can bring your hands back as you tap that left foot back and up to a one-legged chair. And when you're done, back to regular chair, stand up. This time, maybe let's put a tiny little back bend at the top. Eyes can gaze up and a little back. And then back to hands to heart and back to mountain pose. Well done. Let us continue on with our mixture of some strength and heat building and some arm strength. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Let's pause here in forward fold so we can really let the weight of our head stretch out that spine. Belly rests on thighs. Shake out your head, yes and no. Let's bring our hands behind our shins. Maybe even the elbows tucked behind the knees. You can grab the back of the ankles. My knees are bent, as you'll notice, so that I can do that. And then and only then, you can play with that little bit of a bend and stretch. Bending the knees and then pushing through the back of the legs. For most of us, our legs are not going to straighten. And there may be some of you that are super flexible, that they do. If you're one of the ones super flexible that they do, then see if you can bring your head to your shins. And release the hands, bring them back to the mat, and let's step back to that plank again. This time I invite you to do 3 yogi push-ups. 1, 2, and 3, and then our chaturanga, back to down dog. Always an invitation, always do what's right for your body. From here, we're going to reach that right foot up, stretch out in 3-legged dog. And then we're going to bring that right foot to the top of the mat and come back to high lunge. So we were here before, playing with that one-legged chair pose. This time we're going to play with straightening that right leg and bending into it. Straightening and bending into it. So it's more of a coming into a variation of lunge, high lunge. And the next time that right leg is straight, let's place that left heel down and reach the hands forward for pyramid, bringing them down to either side of that right foot. Maybe you have some blocks there. If you have blocks, it's a great time to put them there. If not, let's stretch out over that right leg. Getting a nice hamstring stretch. Coming on back up. And then from here, let's pop the left heel up, bend into that right knee, coming back to the high lunge, and bringing our hands down. Step back to plank, chaturanga, inhale, up dog, and exhale back to that down dog. Lifting that left leg, starting with the 3-legged dog. Hips are level, stretching up through that left heel. Then we look forward, placing the left foot between the hands. We come up to high lunge. Feeling the strength of this pose. And then when you're ready, we straighten the left leg and and bend. So if you want to bend that right knee, you can go a little deeper in the lunge. You can. Again, you know your body. You can also change the space between left foot and right. And when you've had enough, meet me with the left leg straight. Place the right heel down. Reach the hands forward. Drop them on either side of the left foot with the left leg long. And get a nice stretch over that leg. Again, use your props as needed. From here, lift your head, lift the right heel, come up to that high lunge, and then hands down, step back. We're gonna hold the power of the plank and go straight to downward dog. And then let's come to dolphin again. Forearms to the earth. And we're gonna lift right leg to the sky. Now you can stay here. You'll be feeling that shoulder opening and shoulder strengthening. Forearms are parallel, or you can start hopping. Just, I want little hops. And then right foot back down. Left leg lifts. First we just hold up that left leg. Make sure our forearms are parallel. There's a tendency for the elbows to want to splay. And then play with the hop. Back to dolphin. Bend the knees. Back to child's pose. Some deep sighs here in child. Going to lift the head, come into kneeling. Now, until I randomly opened to our poem on crow, I hadn't planned to do crow, but I feel like we have to with that poem. So placing the hands right next to your knees, go ahead and lift your feet, tuck your toes, and then roll back to the balls of your feet. Are you with me? From here, go ahead and splay the knees. Walk the hands a little closer to the body. Fingertips are spread wide. And your knees naturally should be high up on your forearms or behind your upper forearms. And then we're going to go ahead and lift the hips, and you'll notice that your upper arms make a natural little ledge for your knees. You can just shift forward and lift one foot and the other, or if you have crow, you can lift both and then really pull into your belly, gazing at the mat in front of you for crow. So let's do that a couple times. Another modification is to use a block under your feet, just to feel that. And again, maybe you shift the weight into your arms, maybe you don't. Let's try it one more time. But unless we keep trying, we'll never know if we can do some of these more challenging poses. Crow one more time, or even just toes on the ground. And then let's sit back. Heels come to the floor. And then let's lift the hips and come into a forward fold. Shake out that head. So forward fold at the back of your mat. If you're with me. And then let's walk our hands forward, all the way to plank. Drop the hips, hover. We're up to 4 push-ups if you're interested. Elbows stay into the ribs. That's why we call them yogi push-ups. Great for the triceps. And then chaturanga. Back to down dog. Really settle into that down dog. Shake out the head. Open those armpits. Let's lift that right foot to the sky. Right foot top of the mat. Coming back to the high lunge where we were. But this time we're going to turn the left heel down. Turning it into warrior 1. To a warrior 2. Left hand back, right hand forward. Tracking the knee over the middle toes. Really feeling the strength in your legs. Lowering a little deeper. And then right elbow to right knee, left hand over the head for side angle. Again, rolling that left shoulder back so we really shining the heart to the side or up slightly. And if you want more, bring right hand parallel with left. And you'll feel that core just kick right in. From side angle, back to warrior 2. And from warrior 2, reverse warrior. From reverse warrior, cartwheel the hands, lift that left heel, step back, chaturanga, up dog to down dog. Let's lift left leg to the sky, left leg top of the mat. Starting in warrior 1 where we were, and then we add on. We start by putting that right heel down for warrior 1. Lower the hips. From warrior 1, we go to warrior 2. Look out over that left middle finger. Open the arms wide. Sink deeper if that's possible. Feeling your strength. Holding these poses so we can feel their goodness. We drop the left elbow, reach the right up and over. Roll that right shoulder back slightly. You can pick any variation of side angle you like. So you can drop hands. You can bring arms parallel. And then from here back to warrior 2. From warrior 2, reverse the warrior. Left hand up and over. Right can touch the right leg. Or some people like to wrap it around and grab this thigh. From here back to warrior 2, and then cartwheel the hands, pop up the right heel, step back, and chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Now, go ahead and put your knees down. I want to give you the opportunity to do a full shoulder stand. So, I'm going to suggest that you do it against a wall, just for your own security, unless you know you have shoulder stand, in which case, obviously, do it in the middle of the room. But if you want to try a full one but want the wall as support, go ahead and adjust your mat so you have a wall nearby. And then placing your hands about 5 to 6 inches in front of the wall. So your middle finger is 5 or 6 inches in front of it. Pressing into your forearms, coming up into dolphin. I'm still on the screen. Then we're going to go ahead and reach left leg up, walk that right foot in, and then kick up. Now the eyes gaze at the floor between your arms. You stretch out through your toes, and then you maybe come back to child's. And then we'll do the same thing, kicking up with the opposite leg. So we do that, keep both sides equal. And if kicking up's not in your practice, just lift one leg and then the other. So back to dolphin, eyes gaze forward, right leg up, a little push, pushing into the forearms, stretching out through the toes, and then set it down and meet me in child. Nice job. So we often don't practice that pose, but you can see that there's a lot going into it, a lot of shoulder strengthening. So the dolphins and the forearm planks are great, and that walking back and forth between forearm plank and dolphin are really, really good. Some deep sighs here. I'm going to glance at the time because I forgot to wear a watch. So I can get an idea of how much more to do. Some deep sighs. Let's come up on our knees. I'm going to do a couple things. Well, let's go straight to this. So a great counter pose to those forearm balances is reverse tabletop. So come to a seated position, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor in front of your hips, feet hip width apart, and then place your hands behind you, fingertips point toward your hips. And we're going to lift our hips, so you're going to feel that shoulder stretch. So we're moving those shoulders the opposite way. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Opening, eyes can gaze up to the ceiling. Maybe one more and hold. And then lower. And then come up to balancing on both feet. And we're going to lift our hips, and you'll find yourself in a forward fold again. Walk your hands toward your feet. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Maybe there's a little bend in the knees. Elbows flare out. Slight tug just to make it feel good. Forward fold. Now I had one more strengthening pose after this one. Anyone who's practiced with me for a while knows this used to be my least favorite pose. But I don't know if I'd say that anymore. One more breath here, tugging on the toes, then release the toes. And we're going to shift our weight into our left foot and reach our right foot up for standing splits. Stretching out through that right heel. And then we're going to bring knee to nose without touching it down. And then kick it all the way to the sky. And then knee to nose. And up. And knee to nose. So it's a stretch and strengthening. See if you can do 1 to 5 and then set the right foot down and lift the left up. Standing split on this side, left foot to the sky, left knee to nose. Up, 3 to 5, and then a good hold in standing splits. Holding it there. And then drop that foot. Bend the knees, shake out your head. Lower the hips all the way and come to balancing on the balls of your feet. Hands at heart. So this is a nice little balancing move. Thighs are parallel with the floor. And then if possible, we're going to come all the way up. Just in this, pushing into the balls of our feet. Boop, boop, boop. And then once we're up, put our heels down. Nicely done. Crown of the head lifts. We drop our hands. Shake out our arms. I want to do one simple balancing pose up here before we go to seated poses. So let's play with tree. One of the most familiar and basic. So let's shift our weight into the left foot. Put the right big toe down. Turn out the right knee. Let's go ahead and put hands on the hips. Go ahead and lift this right thigh. Grab the right shin and place the sole of the foot on the left inner thigh. As high as feels comfortable to you. And you can always keep that toe on the ground or on the shin. Once you get here, go ahead and bring your hands back to that heart. Some deep sighs. Let's come back to that breath. The inhale and exhale. Maybe find a focal point. Helps increase stability. And if you wobble or fall out of the pose, come back. And if you want, then you can reach those arms above the head. Lifting through the crown and the fingertips. Back through the prayer. And back to putting the right foot down. Switching sides. Weight is in the right foot. Put the left big toe on the earth. Turn the left knee out. So we just start with that hip rotation. And if you have a hip injury or such, again, this might be enough. Otherwise, lift that knee. Find the focal point first. Go ahead and place the foot and come back to prayer hands. Holding here in prayer for a few breaths. And then lifting the hands up. Stretching out through fingertips and crown. Big, tall tree. Maybe a little Buddha smile. Hands back to heart. And we place that left foot down. Well done. Let's walk our feet out. Further than hip width. Turn the feet at 45 degrees. Let's lower those hips between our heels into our yogic squat. Hands at prayer. Eyes can close for 3 to 5 breaths before we come into seated. We go ahead and let that seat touch the earth. And let's start. No, doesn't matter. I'll turn this way. Go ahead and let's grab those big toes again and kick out through the heels. These feel so good to stretch out a wide angle butt balance. There are yogic words for this. Open the heart, roll the shoulders down and back as you extend through the heels. Maybe some deep sighs. And then let's drop the heels. Toes point up. Place the hands on the earth. And we're just gonna bend at the hips as if we're in a wide angle forward fold with our feet on the earth. And just letting the upper body whoop, come forward. Now, you may want some support. You might have pillows, blocks, bolsters. And if you don't, you can always use your body to support your upper body, meaning your forearms, your arms. Or maybe, again, you can come further, stacking your palms. So we begin to start coming into poses with stillness, where our body is supported by the earth. So we come into stillness in standing poses, and yet there's a lot going on when we're balancing on 1 foot or even 2 feet. So just feel how nice it feels to have the earth support us. Relaxing deeper. And then come on back up. Lifting through the crown. You can place your hands behind your bottom and lift it. Pull those legs forward. Maybe wiggle the legs. And we're going to come into a simple forward fold. Seat it. Lift first through the crown. Hinge at the hips. Put a little bend in the knees to protect your lower back. And then see where you slide forward. Without judgment or expectation, just welcoming today where you are. So many things factor our stretchability, so to speak. The heat of the room, what we did the day before, injuries, age, bone structure. So let's not get all judgy in our head and just enjoy the stretch right where we are today. Too often we're like, oh, well, when I was 13, I could do splits all 3 ways. Well, that's lovely. You might not be 13 anymore. Let's let go and be joyful in this moment. Sinking a little deeper with gravity. And then slowly come up. Again, I can't see the clock, but I sense we're about on time. Let's go ahead and roll down to our backs. I love to rock back and forth when I first get down here. Make circles with my knees. Massage my lower back. See what feels good to you. And then heels straight up. You have 3 options here as usual for legs up the wall. Well, let's say 4. You could literally put your legs up the wall. A lot of you do Coyote with Mary. So you do that pose a lot. You could do it in the middle of the room. You can do it supported with a block under your hips. Like so. Going a long way from hip bone to hip bone. Or you can go into a shoulder stand. So much like our forearm, our forearms are parallel. We lift our hips up and walk our elbows in. The support is in the back of the upper arms. The fingertips walk up so that the heels of the hands are in your ribs, lower ribs, and your fingertips point up. The back of your head is pushed into the mat, your nose and chin lift, and you stretch out through your feet. I think I'm just realizing that I think I called our forearm handstand. This is actually a shoulder stand. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. From here, if you're in shoulder stand, you can come into plow, dropping the feet over the head. Toes may touch, toes may not touch. You can keep your hands supporting your lower back. And when you're ready, slowly roll back down and meet me with those knees bent. With that kind of rock and roll again of massaging the back. Let's go ahead and put the feet down, heels of the feet by the buttocks. Hands, palms down, again by the hip bones, maybe all the way to those ankles. And let's tuck the tailbone, so we pull belly to spine, and then lift the tailbone first and roll all the way up. And all the way down. So you move with your breath, lifting and lowering here. And maybe some of you go into wheel. Maybe some of you like to hold it at the top or come up on your toes. Just tune into your body. Maybe some of you like to interlace your hands and hold the pose. And when you've had enough, again, bring your whole back into the mat. Lift both feet. Lift the head, reach the hands forward. We'll just do this one last core strengthening. So you can stay right here, or you can lower one leg and then the other. So scissor legs with the head up. Many options here. You could do bicycle legs. You could put the head down. Let's see if you could do, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute of a little core work here before we start winding up our practice. And then when you're done, head to the earth. Hug those knees in again. Open your arms up in some cactus arms. And let's drop the knees to the right as the eyes gaze toward that left elbow for a twist. Again, celebrating the earth, supporting us. When you're ready, switch sides, knees come up and then to the left, eyes gaze to the right elbow, and close. Final pose, knees up, happy baby, grab the outsides of the feet. Push the whole of your back into the mat, shine the soles of your feet to the sky, pull the knees toward the armpits. And then bring knees together, shins together, ankles and big toes. Bring your head up to kiss your knees. Squeeze yourself into a small ball. Tight, tight, tight. Give yourself some big love. And then we come in to Shavasana. The legs and arms can come off the mat. The palms are traditionally up and the feet are splayed. But please adjust so that it feels the most relaxing to your body. You can use eye masks, pillows, blankets, You can put a bolster under your knees, whatever you need to do. I'm going to mind the time as you deeply relax. Take some few big audible sighs. Sensing relaxing the whole spine and the muscles that hold us upright. Relax the shoulders and the hips that we did so much with, the arms and the legs, fingers and the toes. Relax the muscles of the face. And we'll rest here. Read the Crow poem again by Dana Faulds. Crow wisdom. I'd like to know what you know, Crow. Your senses taking in everything that's going on in this vicinity. I'd like to see what you see, swooping through the pine trees or gliding high above the yard. I get the feeling you size me up in a single glimpse, finding me a useful food source, but not too smart. I'd like to share your ability to be in tune with your surroundings, alert, yet free to be your bold crow self, effortlessly plugged into wisdom's source and gloating just a bit at your superiority. So maybe you can take that place above yourself as if you're just gazing down at yourself from this witness. Bringing one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. Sensing the rise and fall of your breath. Seeing yourself with love. Seeing that beauty, that wisdom that shines. Go ahead and give your arms a little stretch over your head. A little wiggle as you roll to your right side. We pause here always for gratitude. Gratitude for this self, for this practice, for our teachers, for the lessons in life, for the beauty, and the multitude of other things that may come to your mind. From here, we push ourselves to a seated position. This time I invite you to bring your hands together at your heart as we take the final 3 breaths together for this practice. We inhale through the nose and exhale an audible ah. 2 more times with an ooh, an oh, an om, or an amen. You decide. Only you can hear it. Last one. That spirit, that light, that spark in me sees that in every single one of you, whether you just showed up live on this Zoom, on this Facebook Live, or you're watching the recording. I appreciate you. I see you. Thank you for all you do, spreading love and kindness in this world. Until I see you at the end of May, keep hitting those recordings, and namaste. Good to see everybody.